Okay then, let's carry on. While Shields had momentarily caught a respite thanks to his actions, he had no idea that his biggest crisis was still yet to come. Shortly after spending time with Ava, he received a summons to the bridge. Didn't this happen last time? He arrived to see the tense faces of the command crew. What happened? Chigara's escaped. We don't know how, but she managed to open her cell. Is this all the same? It is. Oh dear. This as well? Alright. I guess I'll skip. Exciting! Oh boy! Back here again. Here we go! Finally! Okay, so let's see where we are. Oh yeah, this bit. Alright. Before she could reach him, a bullet impacted against Alice's energy barrier. Kyoto! Ava ran into engineering, a pistol in hand. Shields used the opening to scramble into cover, while Alice ducked back and grabbed her rifle. Ava and Shields pressed themselves against a workstation as Alice returned fire. Where's the rest of security? Already all dispatched. The rest are tied up below deck. Ava handed Shields a fresh pistol. I'll take her. You've got to activate the auxiliary cooling system. Alright. Ava popped out of cover and peppered Alice's shield with bullets as Shields ran towards the reactor's controls. Useless! With the personal shield still activated, Ava's shots only bounced harmlessly off Alice. Bullets ricocheted against the floor as Alice opened fire on Shields. He rolled away into the adjacent room, unable to reach the completely exposed reactor's console. No good. Ava slipped her now empty clip out and reloaded. However, she would need heavier weaponry to cut through Alice's barrier. Alice merely paced towards Ava as she popped more rounds. A sadistic sneer sliced Alice's face as the barrier deflected all of Ava's shots. Alice wrapped her hand around Ava's throat and lifted her off her feet. Sparks flew from Alice's hand as her barrier crushed Ava's throat. Ava! Pathetic! Is that all you got? Alice tossed Ava to the floor like a ragdoll. She stomped on Ava's back with her plug suits, padded soles. You've... Shields brought down a pipe on Alice's head, sending her saber clattering to the floor. We really gotta cut down on the speeches! The pipe crashed against the energy shield, sending feedback jolting through his arm. But Shields mustered his strength. He wrapped himself around Alice, putting her into a sleeper hold, as her energy barrier sheared through his uniform and flesh. The two of them struggled as Shields dragged her towards the flaming hot reactor core. You! Shields squeezed his eyes shut. He would drop Alice into the reactor shaft, even if he had to fall off with her himself. This would be the only way he could finally defeat Alice and save the future. If his life was the price to pay to save everyone, then he would gladly sacrifice himself. Once this is all over, the timeline's going to be fixed anyways. I'll just return to being the ship's captain, so it's no big loss. Behind him, Ava raised her hand and gasped desperately as Shields lifted Alice off her feet. I'm sorry, Ava, but I'll see you in the next universe. Here! The reactor burst into a column of blue flame. Behind them, the outer panels melted away in the extreme heat. This would be their funeral prior. The two of them arrived at the edge of the shaft, beyond the safety rail, with a sheer drop into a furnace of hellfire. Shields! He gritted his teeth and took another step towards into the sea of fire, his arms wrapped around Alice. This would be the end. Sorry about this, but... Suddenly, excruciating pain cut through his back. Shields dropped to his knees in disbelief. What? Hello again, Chigara. His consciousness began to slip away as he realized there was now a combat dagger stuck to his back. No! Chigara! Alice roared triumphantly. I have won, Shields! She pounded her chest. Even in this universe, my little doll proved your undoing. Ironic, is it not? That you have come so far and accomplished so much. only to fall in the same manner. Jules collapsed to the floor when Chigara violently pulled the dagger from his back, tearing out muscle and blood. He saw Chigara's empty face hovering above him. That's not Chigara's face. She used to smile so gently. Now, my doll, kill him! Chigara! A wicked grin slashed apart Chigara's face as she thrust the dagger downwards. Jules opened his eyes and realised that Chigara's other arm had stopped the arm holding the dagger from penetrating his chest. For but a flicker, lucidity returned to her eyes. Now's your chance! Get her, Captain! Jules tore the dagger from Chigara's hand and dug it into Alice's gut with all her might. His might. Whatever, doesn't matter! Electricity surged through his entire body as the dagger cut through his shields. At last, the barrier shattered to pieces. Alice's face froze in shock as shields repeatedly jabbed the dagger into her belly, forming a dozen new slots into her womb. I think it's time you died a second time! With that, he kicked her down the Sunrider's reactor shaft. This is Sparta, anyone? For a second, Alice floated in midair. At last! This nightmare ends. Arcadius, if only we could have died together. The second passed, and Alice fell down the shaft. Chigara covered Shields' body as Alice's body erupted into an enormous pillar of fire. The stench of burning flesh filled the room. Yummy! Chigara! The reactor! Understood! Chigara scrambled to the controls and furiously inputted commands. Streams of foam shot from every direction, lavering the reactor in coolant. The flames around the reactor hissed and eventually fizzled out. Stopped suddenly again. With a long sigh of relief, Chigara collapsed to the floor. Jules crawled over to Ava. Despite being covered with wounds, she nodded and gave a thumbs up. Ava! He wrapped his arms around her. We did it! Oh, hello, Claude. Just then, old Claude burst into engineering, escorted by ship security. A bit late. Captain! Despite their injuries, the two of them struggled to their feet. With grins on their blood-stained faces, Shields and Ava waved. Soon, they were both on stretchers, while ship security detained Chigara, who had already surrendered peacefully. With Alice dead and Chigara never having entered the mind stream, there was no risk of Alice's ghost ever reasserting control over her again. There we go. The crew rushed to contain the damage in engineering as Shields was ferried towards sickbay. Between the moving bodies of the crew, you saw a familiar locket of pink hair. Teehee? Looks like you pulled it off, Captain. A second Claude watched the events unfold from the shadows. Nah, I guess this is the end. If you ever need me, you know where to find me. But a blink later, she completely vanished from the universe. And there we go. Shields closed his eyes. The past had been rewritten. The future had been saved. The Liberation Day massacre was averted. The world began to fade white as a loyal casualty reconfigured the universe based on what he had accomplished. In the universe which will be created, the Sunrider would emerge triumphant. During the Battle of Sira, Chigara, the prototype spy, would be apprehended safely, and Shields would have prevented an intergalactic war between the Alliance and Pact. Not bad for a day's work, but next time, let's try to get it right the first time around. Sure. So I have to sit through the credits again. My third credits. Yay! Oh, we're back here again. Hello. I'm kind of guessing that all the routes are going to be the same, sadly. Other than a few differences. Oh well, Shields knelt before Murray's grave. At long last, he had put her soul to rest, up in that mountain of their childhoods. Beside him, Ava laid a bouquet of flowers, next to a headstone marking her father's final resting place. Murray, I'm sorry. You were so proud to hear I had finally become a captain. You told all your friends I would protect Sierra the instant you found out. But I let you down. I let everyone down. Ever since that day, I swore to myself I would come back here, that I will take back what we lost that day. And after so many trials, here I am, finally home. Kyoto! Murray put her hand on his shoulder. You never had to blame yourself. Upon hearing her voice, tears dripped down his eyes. Ever since you told me you were going to follow Avi, I knew you could do it. I knew you could become the biggest space captain there ever was, and win against impossible odds. I'm not sad I came to see you off that day, even though I would still be alive. I wouldn't be able to call myself your sister if I missed a thing like that. Don't worry about me. Now, I can watch over you from this mountain. No matter where you go, I'll look up to the night skies and find you somewhere amongst the stars. I know you will always be the mightiest captain who ever lived, who will defeat the biggest villains and save the galaxy over and over because you're my big brother, Kyoto. You can do anything. You never let me down, not even once. Murray. Shields gripped his fist and sobbed into her grave. I swear, I'll never betray your trust. For as long as I live, I'll defend everyone. No matter what may face me, no matter the odds, I'll fight on, so that I can return here and keep you company. I'll tell you stories of adventures, of narrow escapes, and victories snatched from the jaws of defeat. You'll be on the edge of your seat each time. Murray, your brother's going to keep fighting. Sierra's not safe yet. There's more work to do. I'm not ready to quit being Captain Kyoto Shields, not yet. I'm going to return to space, and this time I'll be leaving you here. I'll keep watching from this mountain. Good luck, Kyoto, and have a safe trip. Yeah, of course. Nobody's going to take your big brother down. With that, Murray's apparition slowly faded away. She wrapped her arms around Kyoto's head. I love Big Brother. Keep us all safe, okay? Yeah, it's a promise. Murray vanished in the full wind. The leaves in the forest rustled as her spirit echoed through the mountain before finally dispersing into the great beyond. Instead of lamenting her final disappearance, Shield stood with a tear-soaked grin. I'll be back, Murray. Kyoto, are you ready? Yeah. How'd things go on your end? My father always was a man of few words. I'm sure he would merely nod and accept my return if he was still alive. But perhaps deep underneath his cool and rational exterior, he would be pleased to see me return alive, my mission a success. I may even venture as to say he might feel a tinge of pride in his old heart. I'm making an idiot of myself, no? No. You take after him in many ways. And I can tell from your smile right now, he would definitely be overjoyed as well. I must have gone soft, no thanks to your influence. Well, never hurts to smile every now and then, but it helps offset the effects of aging. Captain. From the mountain, they could see the Mosasira city was still an enormous crater. The Legion's attack had brought a scar into their beautiful city, one that they may never forget. But reconstruction efforts were already underway. The Alliance had already brought money, workers and resources to restore the city, while Fontana has likewise pledged to make amends for Pact's wanton actions. Schultz looked to the remains of the city he once called home. There was still work to do, But for the first time in his life, he felt victorious. Not a fleeting sense of accomplishment after winning a small skirmish, but an overwhelming sense of having won something important. It resounded through his body, giving him strength. With that, the two of them hiked down the mountain. What's going to happen now then? Well, this apparently. The sunset over Sierra National Park. The Liberation Day celebration had just ended. It was a grand affair where Admiral Grey took to the stage to commend the fighting spirit of Sierra's only surviving assault carrier and presented Kyoto Shields with a Ferelden Cross. There were parades, a full orchestra, as well as enough Alliance of Pact dignitaries to last a lifetime. In reality, Kyoto Shields did not care too much about receiving honours or trying to find influence by befriending powerful Alliance figures. Instead, his only thoughts were about... Captain, please do not stare at me with those eyes. Ava? Can you not see that we are surrounded by the most powerful men and women of the Alliance right now? And under the lens of virtually the entire galaxy's press corps? If word got out about our relationship, our reputations would surely be dragged through the mud in every tabloid from Solaris to New Eden. Don't worry too much. It's not like commands can fire me at this point. Captain, you are far too... What the hell is that? Lackadaisical? Maybe? About this whole affair. Even your uniform is wrinkled. Ava did her best to straighten his jacket. This is how the galaxy is going to see Captain Kyoto Shields? I'm not interested in presentation, I'm afraid. I'm just here to get the job done. Ava sighed in hopelessness. Yes, Captain, I am painfully aware of that fact. Despite the old universe being destroyed, Ava and Shields' feelings for each other remained. Even if they ruffled each other's feathers from time to time, Ava would always stand watch over the Captain, ever the loyal advisor and partner. In a way, the two of them were destined from the very beginning to stay together, a partnership where each one covered for the other. Standing alone, neither Shields or Ava could be described as perfect, but together they formed a complementary whole. In the end, they were respectively the father and mother of the Sunrider. You know, Ava, one time I thought about settling down on Sierra after all this was over. Just living the rest of my life out in peaceful retirement far away from danger. But do you suppose we could ever do that? Captain, my place is on board the Sunrider. I was never too attached to this place. All it brings me are memories of my childhood. I can hardly remember my mother, but ever since she left, I remember a desolate household and a father who never deigned to show a moment of affection during the few times of year when he was home. In fact, I quite enjoyed the thought of travelling the galaxy. I would rather not sink my roots too deep anywhere. I see. Shields looked at the damaged skyline of the city. Many of the buildings he remembered were now demolished and replaced with structural struts as reconstruction work commenced. I've always wanted to return to this place, but I guess home will always be where your family lives. There's nothing more for me to do here. I've concluded my business here. I think it's time for me to return to space too. There's still a lot we have left to accomplish together. What say we continue as Captain and XO, no? As partners. Sir. Ava began to salute, but caught herself. I don't mean it like that, Ava. I've always loved you. I want to stay by your side. Wherever you are will always be my home now. You're all I have left. No. This is far from the truth. Ava turned to where the crew of the Sunrider was chatting at the banquet table. We have them now. Shields looked at the girls he had gathered from across the galaxy. Asuka was busy trying to get Sola to socialize with the others, filling her plate with more food than she could eat. Ikai and Kreisky were already busy arguing about Alliance rider equipment. Meanwhile, it looked like Claude was being eye-ogled by a circle of important Alliance men. Seriously, what was she doing? Chatting up with those guys? Did she have some kind of geezer fetish? Well, technically Kyoto has white hair. So... oh my god, can you imagine Claude with, grey? Ugh. I don't want to see that in, like, a fan fiction or whatever. Ugh. Heh, you're right. Shields put his arms around Ava. We'll protect them together, our crew, our children. Let's return to our home. Yes, Kyoto. but doubt creeped into Ava's heart. Did she truly love the man called Kyoto Shields? Was she capable of loving someone at all? Or was she but a calculating machine capable of only crunching numbers and deducing detached conclusions from the cold, hard data? She knew that one day Shields' feelings for her would prove his downfall, and she would have to be there to save him when that day came. She made a resolution deep in her heart. She would always protect Shields, even from himself, and to do that, she could not let his love for her blind him from what had to be done. I will always be your XO above everything else. Perhaps that is the best gift I could give you. My days here were empty, devoid of colour, merely an endless repetition of the same pointless movements. Save for one thing, the sound of your laugh. Whenever I was frustrated, it would drive me up the wall, but it was what got me through those times. In the end, it was you. What? Did you say something, Ava? No. I was merely murmuring to myself, please disregard my sudden flight of fancy. In any matter, let us not stand here by our lonesome. We have much work to do, no? I personally intend to speak with the Alliance Finance Minister, so that we can acquire more funding for the reconstruction efforts. As the man of the hour, I fully expect you to do the same, Captain. Oh, what? Ava, you know I'm not good at stuff like that. Not but, Captain. The security of Sierra is at stake here. Understood. With that, Ava pushed Shields away. Despite that, he secretly smiled to himself. He still remembered the look on Ava's face that night when they... That was certainly not the look of a woman with no sexual appetite for him. Heh. No matter how cold she acted towards him, Shields knew that she wanted him with all her heart. What a complicated woman. Ah well, I'm sure this will sort itself out, eventually. Now, do I really want to read through this all again? Nope, so I'm skipping. Right. Gotta remember to pause it right before the end. Right. When they're in space, there we go. Anything new? Nope. Apparently not. Happy end! Our greatest adventure. And there we go. The end of Ava's arc. Well, happy end, whatever, doesn't really matter. Right, how many more endings? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 more endings. Alright, and I think there's one more okay path with Ava, maybe? I think it's the normal end. I don't know if she has a worst end. I don't know. There are probably going to be some death ends as well, or bad ends, if you want to call them that. Such as the one with killing Chigara. I wonder what happens there. But I'll probably leave that for next time. One thing before I go then, guys. I just want to say sorry for the random gaps between videos at the moment. I've been really busy with work, and Sunrider takes a long time to edit. I don't know why, it just does. Also, seeing as we're getting to the end of Ava's route, I also need to know whether or not we should do Sola's next or Asuga's. So I'm going to leave that down to you guys. Okay, so thank you guys for watching. This has been Delpha. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, and all that good stuff. Thank you again, and goodbye.